upon a time, in a small village called Umudike, there lived a young girl named Adaeze. She was a gentle soul with eyes that sparkled like the morning dew. Adaeze's mother had passed away when she was very young, leaving her alone with her father Chijioke. He loved Adaeze dearly and took care of her the best he could. After a few years, Chijioke married another woman named Nneka, hoping she would bring comfort and joy back into his home. Nneka had two daughters of her own, Amara and Chisom, who were around Adaeze's age. At first, Adaeze hoped that she would have new friends in her stepsisters and that Nneka would be like a mother to her. But soon, Adaeze realized that Nneka was not kind-hearted. Nneka treated Adaeze very differently from her own daughters. She would wake Adaeze up early every morning to sweep the compound, fetch water from the river, and prepare breakfast, while Amara and Chisom slept comfortably. Adaeze was also given the hardest chores like pounding yam and cleaning the entire house. And if she made even a small mistake, Nneka would scold her loudly. Her stepsisters Amara and Chisom often joined in to mock Adaeze. They would laugh at her clothes, which were old and worn, and make fun of her hard work. They called her names and ordered her around whenever Adaeze tried to speak up. They would run to Nneka, who would then punish her. The other villagers noticed how Adaeze was treated, and many of them pitied her. They would see her carrying heavy pots of water or cleaning the compound all by herself. They would even shake their heads sadly, but Adaeze never complained. She tried to stay strong and always did her chores without protest, even though her heart was heavy with sadness. One evening, after a long day of work, Adaeze went to fetch water from the river. The sky was dark and the air was quiet. Adaeze sat by the river, feeling tired and lonely, and tears began to flow from her eyes. She missed her mother and wished for a life where she was loved and cared for. As she sat crying, an old woman appeared from behind a tree. Her name was Ezine, and she was known in the village as a wise healer. Ezine gently placed her hands on Adaeze's shoulder and asked, "My child, why are you crying?" Adaeze looked up surprised to see the kind face of the old woman. She shared her story, telling Ezine about the way Nneka and her daughters treated her. Ezine listened patiently, nodding as Adaeze spoke. When Adaeze finished, Ezine reached into her bag and pulled out a small wooden pendant shaped like an orgy, the Imbo symbol of peace and unity. She placed it in Adaeze's hand and said, "This is a reminder of your strength and kindness. Wear it and remember that no matter how hard things get, you are valuable and worthy of love." Adaeze thanked Ezine and put the pendant around her neck. She felt a sense of calm washed over her, as if a warm light has entered her heart. Days turned into months, and Adaeze continued to work hard in Nneka's household. She wore the pendant every day, and whenever she felt sad, she would hold it and remembered Ezine's words. Over time, people in the village began to notice Adaeze's kindness and strength. She was known as the girl who never complained, who worked hard and was respectful to everyone. One day, a wealthy trader came to the village. He was looking for a bride, someone who was kind, humble, and hardworking. He heard about Adaeze's character from the villagers and asked to meet her. When he met her, he was impressed by her gentle nature and quiet strength. He offered to marry her and promised to take good care of her. Chijioke, Adaeze's father, agreed to the marriage, seeing it as a way for Adaeze to find happiness. Nneka and her daughter were furious. They had never expected that Adaeze, whom they had treated poorly, would have the chance to marry a wealthy man. Adaeze moved to her new home where she was treated with respect and love. Her husband honored her for her strength and kindness, and Adaeze was finally able to live a life of peace and happiness. Years later, Adaeze returned to her village to visit her father. She was now a confident and graceful woman. She bought gifts for her father and Ezine, who had given her hope in her darkest time. When Nneka and her daughter saw Adaeze, they were filled with regret and shame for how they had treated her. Adeze's story became a lesson for everyone in the village, a story of hope, resilience, and the belief that kindness, even when faced with hardship, will always bring light in the end. This brings us to the end of our story. Please subscribe to my channel, like and comment on this story.